Want kids with more brain power? An observational study has found that 2 hours of recreational screen time a day, along with more sleep, is linked to improved cognition in children. For children aged 8 to 11, the Canadian 24-Hour Movement Guidelines recommends 9 to 11 hours of sleep per night, less than 2 hours of screen time, and an hour of physical activity a day. But a study of 4,520 US children found that only 5% met all three recommendations, while 41% met at least one guideline, 25% met two, and 29% met none at all. On average, American kids slept 9.1 hours per night, had 3.6 hours of recreational screen time per day, and 3.7 hours of physical activity per week. According to the findings, screen time and sleep had the strongest link to improved cognition, and kids with more than 2 hours of screen time had poorer development. Researchers say parents should manage screen time, and suggest encouraging more physical activity and tech-free zones. Everything's a safety risk these days. Not as harmless as you thought. Doctors in London are warning against the dangers of Nerf guns after at least 3 people suffered serious injuries from getting hit in the eye. Nerf guns are toys that shoot soft foam projectiles. Official replacement bullets are widely available, but generic ones are cheaper. They're also harder and have more potential to cause injury. Nerf video tutorials abound online, with some giving instructions on how to modify the toy gun to make it shoot faster and farther. Patients who were hit in the eye with Nerf projectiles reportedly complained of blurred vision and pain. Doctors later discovered their eyes were inflamed, and blood was pooling in the anterior chamber. Both the cornea and retina had also developed swelling. Fortunately, after being given eye drops, their sight returned to normal in just a few weeks. Such eye trauma may not always lead to permanent vision loss, but could result in a long-term condition like glaucoma. Experts recommend wearing safety glasses to minimize the danger. Nerf manufacturer Hasbro warns people not to aim the guns at people's eyes or face. It's also pretty basic common sense. Still, nothing wrong with being too careful.
Kids don't wake up for smoke alarms. Scientists in the UK have found that smoke alarms often fail to wake children up. Researchers suggest children are not pre-programmed to recognize digital danger warning sounds, which could be the reason they often fail to respond to smoke alarms. A prototype new alarm would lower the standard smoke alarm frequency of 3000 Hz to 520 Hz and use a female voice to issue a verbal warning. Young children are said to be more likely to respond to this new sound alert. In an experiment, only 7 of 34 children tested were woken up by standard smoke alarms. Those who woke up were all girls.
So don't drink and breastfeed. A recently published study found that children exposed to alcohol through breast milk may have reduced cognitive abilities. CBS News reports in the study, breastfeeding moms were asked about their alcohol consumption and their smoking habits. The study then tested the children of these mothers on vocabulary, nonverbal reasoning, and cognitive processing every 2 years until the age of 11. Children of mothers who drank were shown to have lower test scores than those who didn't from age 6 to 7. However, the effects don't seem to be long-lasting, as the same results weren't seen when the children turned 10 to 11. Dr. Alyssa Rubin, medical director of Happy and Healthy Pediatrics, told CBS News that a mother should not breastfeed if she feels any of the effects of alcohol in her system. However, Dr. Rubin said an occasional glass of wine is fine as long as women drink water and eat a full meal afterward. Smoking didn't appear to have an effect on children's cognitive ability. However, researchers warn it's still not a good idea to smoke. Well, that's irresponsible. According to a report from NBC News, a bus driver in Indiana was caught on camera letting young students drive her bus during her afternoon route. Apparently, 27-year-old Joandria McCatty would allow her young students to take turns driving her bus for short distances after the school day ended. The 3 students, ages 11, 13, and 17, each took turns steering the wheel. McCatty is seen helping them steer the wheel too. Well, someone was smart enough to record the incident, which is when a parent came forward to report it. McCatty was immediately fired from her job as a school bus driver and taken into custody. The Times of Northwest India reports McCatty was charged with neglect of a dependent, a level 6 felony. Whoever thought letting kids drive a school bus would be a good idea? Household disinfectants could be linked to child obesity. Here's another reason why some of your kids may look like walking blimps. According to a new study published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal, commonly used household disinfectants and multi-surface cleaners could be making children overweight by affecting their gut bacteria. According to CNN, researchers collected stool samples from 757 infants, analyzed their body mass index at older ages, and parental use of disinfectant products. Higher levels of Lactospiraceae bacteria in animal studies have been associated with higher body fat. The study found infants living in households where antimicrobial disinfectants were used at least once a week were twice as likely to have elevated levels of Lactospiraceae at ages 3 to 4 months old than children whose homes did not use disinfectants frequently. While the team found an increase in Lactospiraceae with increased antimicrobial disinfectants, they did not find the same association in disinfectants without the bacteria-killing ingredients or eco-friendly cleaners. This suggests an association between disinfectant use and the overweight. Though the results show a connection between disinfectants and the gut microbiome, it does not imply causation. Further studies need to be carried out to establish a causal relationship.
Weed killer found in kids' breakfast foods. The Guardian reports glyphosate has been found in a number of breakfast items specifically targeted at children, such as cereals, oats, and snack bars. A report published by EWG's Children's Health Initiative says that according to lab tests, the foods were found to contain a hefty dose of the weed-killing poison. Around 3/4 of the tested food samples were found to have higher glyphosate levels than what EWG believes is safe for children. Junk from big-name brands such as Quaker, Kellogg's, and General Mills were found to have some of the highest concentrations of the chemical. EWG also said they believe federal limits are outdated, and that the EPA should limit the amount of glyphosate used on food crops. A CNN guest said the EPA says people should avoid consuming more than 2 milligrams of glyphosate for every kilogram of body weight. He continued saying nobody on Earth consumes anywhere near that amount of glyphosate, and claimed EWG was just lobbying for the organic industry.